From Payoff Pitch Dream Season Central, this is Kurt Berglund with Sportspage number 8. It's your report on the 8th games of all 26 teams in the Payoff Pitch Dream Season that I am running on my channel using the wonderful cards and dice game called Payoff Pitch. Gonna update you in this edition of the Sports Page on all of the scores, highlights, winning and losing pitchers, and then the standings as we go into the 9th game of the 18-game mini season plus playoffs that we are running for this simulation. So let's get right into the scores and highlights and talk some baseball. The 2018 Brewers, for Game 8, visited the 1983 Braves in the second of their 3-game series. The Brewers defeated the Braves 14-3. Home runs for the Brewers: Brent Suter, a solo homer in the second. Travis Shaw, a solo homer in the 6th. Eric Thames, pinch hit, solo homer in the 7th. For the Braves, Bob Watson, a solo dong in the 2nd. And Bob Horner, a 2-run shot in the 6th. So the Brewers have taken the first 2 games of this series. In Chicago at Comiskey Park, the 77 Red Sox defeated the 77 White Sox by a score of 5-4. Winning pitcher, Bill Campbell. Losing pitcher, Laren LeGros. Home runs in the game: a 2-run homer by Carlton Fisk in the 4th inning for the Red Sox. For the White Sox, a solo homer by Ralph Garr in the 5th and a 2-run shot by George Orta also in the 5th. So the Red Sox defeat the White Sox 5-4. In St. Louis at Busch Stadium, the 77 Twins were defeated by the 87 Cardinals 6-0. Bob Force, the winner. Pete Redfern, the loser. Home runs in the game, just 1 to report. A solo homer by Willie McGee in the 6th for the Cardinals. 87 Cardinals defeat the 77 Twins by a score of 6-0. In the Bronx, the 83 White Sox visited the 64 Yankees and were the winners. Britt Burns defeated Ralph Terry. Salome Barojas with the save. Home runs for the White Sox: Harold Baines in the 1st, a solo shot, none for the Yankees. In Minnesota, the 69 Tigers took on the 87 Twins, and the 69 Tigers were victorious by a score of 9-4. Joe Sparma, the winner. Joe Niekro, the loser. Tom Timmerman, the save. Home runs in the game: solo shot by Willie Horton in the 5th for Detroit, a 2-run homer by Jim Price in the 5th for Detroit, and a solo shot by the very hot Jim Northrup in the 8th for Detroit. None for the Twins. In Milwaukee, the 87 Brewers took on the 79 Brewers. The 79 Brewers were victorious 10-7. Bill Castro with the win. Dan Plesac with another blown save with the loss. Home runs for the 87 Brewers: a 2-run shot by Rob Deere in the 2nd. Greg Brock, solo homer in the 8th. Bill Schroeder, another 2-run homer in the 8th. For the 79 Brewers, Sixto Lizcano, a solo homer in the 2nd. Gorman Thomas, a solo homer in the 2nd. Dick Davis, a pinch hit solo homer in the 9th, and Robin Yount, a 3-run walk-off homer in the 9th, off of Plesac to win it for the 79 Brewers. In Detroit, the 87 Tigers hosted the 83 Brewers. The 87 Tigers won 9-2. Home runs in the game: 2-run shot in the 1st for the Tigers for Dave Bergman. A solo shot in the 5th for Alan Trammell, and a solo shot in the 5th for Darrell Evans as they went back-to-back. And then another homer by Dave Bergman, a solo homer in the 8th. So Bergman had 2 homers on the day. All right, so the 87 Tigers defeat the 83 Brewers 9-2. Walt Terrell, the winner. Chuck Porter, the loser. In Washington at RFK Stadium, the 77 Yankees visited the 69 Senators. The 69 Senators were victorious 10-7. Darrell Knowles, the winner. Dick Tidrow, the loser. Home runs in the game. Cliff Johnson, a solo homer in the 6th for New York. Reggie Jackson, a solo homer in the 6th for New York. Mickey Rivers, a solo homer in the 7th for New York. For Washington, Frank Howard, a solo homer in the 1st. And Mike Epstein, a big 3-run shot in the 5th. And Ken McMullen, an even bigger 3-run shot in the bottom of the 8th. Senators defeat the Yankees 10-7. In L.A., the 69 Expos visited the 77 Dodgers. The 77 Dodgers came into the game 0-7 on the mini-season. The 69 Expos made them 0-8 as the Expos defeated the Dodgers 4-2. Renko, the winner for Montreal. Rodin, the loser for Los Angeles. Dan McGinn, his first save. Home runs in the game, just one. It was for L.A. Dusty Baker, a solo homer in the 5th. Expos beat the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine 4-2. In San Francisco, the 79 Cubs visited the 64 Giants. 64 Giants won 5-0. Jack Sanford with a shutout. He was the winner. Mike Krukow, the loser. Home runs in the game, Jim Ray Hart, a 3-run shot in the 5th. And Tom Haller, a solo blast in the 8th for San Francisco. In Philadelphia at Shibe Park, the 83 Phillies visited the 64 Phillies, and the 83 Phillies defeated the 64 Phillies by a score of 6-0. Kevin Gross, the winner. Art Mahaffey, the loser. There were no home runs in the ball game. In Chicago at Wrigley Field, the 69 Mets visited the 69 Cubs, and the 69 Mets won 5-3. Tug McGraw, the winner. Phil Regan, the loser for the Cubs. Home runs in the game, Tommy Agee, a 2-run shot in the 5th. Don Clendenin, a 2-run shot in the 9th to provide the margin of victory for the Cubs, or for the Mets, off of Regan. No home runs in the game for the Cubs. Mets beat the Cubs 5-3. And finally, in St. Louis at Sportsman's Park, the 64 Cardinals hosted the 84 Cubs and were victorious 4-3. Barney Schultz, the winner. Warren Brewster, the loser. And Gordy Richardson earned the save. There were no home runs in the game. Cardinals beat the Cubs 4-3. Those are the 13 games in the 2016 Dream season for Game 8. Let's look at the standings. All right, looking at the standings for the Payoff Pitch Dream season, after 8 games have been played of the 18-game mini-season, here is your American League playoff or standings pennant race picture. First place, 69 Tigers with a record of 7-1. Second place, 2 teams are tied. The 87 Brewers and the 79 Brewers are tied at 5-3. They are 2 games back, along with the 87 Tigers and the 83 White Sox. We have 4 teams tied at 5-3, all 2 games back. If the playoffs started today, which they don't, these 5 teams would make the playoffs. But we have 10 more games to go, so we'll see what happens. In third place, tied with a record of 4-4 to the 87 Twins, the 64 Yankees, and the 77 White Sox, all of whom are 1 game out of the playoff picture. The 83 Brewers, the 77 Twins, the 77 Yankees, and the 77 Red Sox are tied at 3-5. In fourth place, they are 2 games out of the playoff picture. And the 69 Senators. So there's 5 teams tied at 3 and 5 in 4th place, all 2 games out of the playoff picture as of today. In the National League, little bit more spread out. In first place with a perfect 8-0 record of the 2018 Brewers, 2 games back are the 83 Braves, with the final game of their series yet to come, and that's for Game 9 that will be coming up in the next batch of games. In third place are 3 teams. The 83 Phillies, the 69 Cubs, and the 69 Mets are all 3 games back at 5 and 3. And if the playoffs started today, these 5 teams would be in it. The 69 Mets would be the last one in. 84 Cubs would be on the outs. But 10 games to go, so we don't know what's going to happen. In fourth place, the 84 Cubs and the 87 Cardinals are tied at 4 and 4. In fifth place, the 64 Phillies and the 64 Cardinals are tied at 3 and 5, 2 games out of the playoff picture. Fifth place, 64 Phillies, 64 Cardinals, 69 Expos. Sorry, they're 2 games out of the playoff picture, that's right. And then the 64 Giants are in 6th place at 2 and 6. They could still make some noise. I think the 1 and 7 79 Cubs are pretty much on the outs, and I don't know what's going on with the Dodgers. They can't pitch or hit very well right now. They are 0 and 8, and they are 5 games back of the playoff picture with 10 to play. So I'd say that mountain is considerable, especially when you consider the number of teams they have to climb over. So coming up the next 3 days will be Game 9 broadcasts on my channel, 3 of them. Then you'll get the Game 9 Sportspage, which will kind of show where we're at the halfway mark of the season with all of these teams and what they need to do to make a run in the second half. For most of the teams, the 4th series, these are all 3-game series, for most of the teams, the 4th game series is an interleague contest, which ought to provide some separation among these teams in the standings as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Please click like and subscribe to my channel. I've truly been humbled by all the attention that the Payoff Pitch Dream season has provided or has attracted. And I hope it's provided you some entertainment in these crazy times of this crazy year. Thank you again for your continued interest. Please feel free to drop me questions, comments, what have you, below. And we'll keep doing the Payoff Pitch Dream season. I'm Kurt Berglund. Hope you have a great day. Thank you again, and so long, everybody.